Welcome. You're watching Much Ado About Something, and I'm Donna. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been around for a while, welcome back, friends. Well, today we're going to make something that's a traditional immune-supporting home remedy. It's different versions of it, and a lot of people even call it different things. It's been kind of accredited to the Amish, but the Amish are not the only ones that use this. It's called fire cider. And fire cider is immunity supporting vinegar infusion that's used to prevent colds and flus, and it's also used to treat colds and flus. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a regular person. These things, there's nothing individually in these ingredients that'll hurt you whatsoever, but you know, you always want to do your research and know what you're ingesting and know what you're taking. This is something that we've took for a long time. It really does help you. It keeps you from getting a lot of colds and flus, and then it helps treat them once you have them. And I'm just going to show you a basic recipe here that I use. Now, you're going to need a jar or two to put your cider in as you make it. As we cut up all these ingredients, you're going to need a jar to store this in. I've got a pickle jar here, nothing fancy. You can use whatever jar you have. This one is more than a quart, and here's a quart-sized jar. Just depending on what size family you have and how much you think that you'll need this will be, it'll depend on what amount you make. I've actually got that pickle jar and 2 quart jars here. So I'm going to see when I cut up all my ingredients exactly how much this will make. Now in my fire cider, and I'll put the recipe down in the description, I use thyme and rosemary, and I use these for their antibacterial and the properties that these 2 herbs have for fighting sickness. Antiviral. I'm going to use 1 lemon. I'm going to wash this really good. We'll use 1 lemon and the rind. I'm going to use this medium-sized onion. I'm going to use this organic turmeric. Now, a lot of people say that you need to use the root. But the thing about this is I live in the city on a 1/4 of an acre. There's no way I could grow everything that I use. So I buy ground turmeric, and that's what I use. I buy minced garlic, cayenne pepper, honey, that is locally grown honey or locally harvested honey, and then sliced ginger. You can also buy ginger root at the grocery store. But as you can see here, I've got sliced ginger. And then I'm going to use this deli mustard with horseradish because my recipe calls for horseradish. And I don't have any horseradish root. And I don't have any chopped horseradish on hand. So I'll be using that deli mustard with horseradish. And that'll be enough. That'll be fine. I can get those properties out of what I have. So this is a solution if you can't grow everything you have and you can't get to the market, to look into your pantry and see what you can use. Mustard with horseradish is not going to hurt this fire cider. It'll be just fine adding that. And of course I got cayenne pepper. Now I did grow these cayenne peppers and dry them and ground them up. So that's something that I have on hand there. We'll also be using apple cider vinegar. And that'll be the liquid that we pour over this and make this vinegar infusion that'll help with immune support in the cold and flu season. And the reason I make this is it's antiviral. It helps your circulatory system. It's anti-inflammatory. And it just has the great properties that you need to heal. Well, I'm going to get to chopping all this up and we're going to put it together. Now you can chop your onions and your lemons and anything that goes in here any way you like it. But I'm just going to basically chop this up in rings because I think it's just really pretty. You can finely mince it. You know, you can just cut this up any way you want to. Now I'm going to cut this lemon up. I'm going to cut it up and just slice this. I'm just going to slice this lemon. Now I think I'm just going to go ahead and make 2 quart jars of this. I'm going to divide my lemon up. And I'm going to divide my onion. I might have to cut this onion in half to get it in the jar. All right, now we've got that about balanced out. And because I'm not using the fresh root, I won't need to chop up the fresh root. I can just go ahead and use my powders. Now you can debate whether or not this fire cider will be just as good or not. But I'm telling you, I think it will. I think it'll be just as good using these dry ingredients as it would if I had grown my own. I'm going to put a sprig of rosemary in here. I'm going to put a sprig of rosemary in this one. And I'm going to put a few sprigs of thyme, anywhere from 2 to 3. Now I love rosemary and thyme. They have excellent antibacterial and germ-fighting properties. That's wonderful in this fire cider. Now, normally I would use a whole head of garlic, but since I don't have a whole head of garlic, and I'm going to use this garlic that's already minced, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons in each quart. Garlic also has wonderful antibacterial properties. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of my my horseradish and mustard mixture that I have. And I'm just going to guesstimate that. If you want to measure your 1 tablespoon, feel free to do that. And you know horseradish opens up your sinuses, and it has many wonderful properties that makes this a really good immune supporting ingredient into this fire cider. Now remember, I didn't have fresh horseradish root, so I used horseradish and mustard. You can use whatever kind of horseradish you have on hand. They sell horseradish much like they do the garlic that's already chopped, and that you can also buy that. We've already got our lemons and our onions in here. So we're going to put our ginger in here. And it says 2 tablespoons of ginger. I've got to open this ginger up. This is just sliced ginger that's been canned. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of ginger root in each. 2 tablespoons, yeah. 2 tablespoons in each quart jar. The turmeric is 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to put the 1 tablespoon in each quart. You can't use too much. So if you use just at least what we recommend here, then it'll be effective. It'll be a good strength. Okay, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of cayenne in each quart. That's the fire part. And once we've got all of our spices in our quart jars, we're going to go ahead and add our vinegar. Up to about 3/4. And then we're going to add our honey. And the honey will be the other 1/4. Now you know vinegar has antibacterial qualities, and so does honey. Honey will add flavor along with the lemon. The lemon adds a little flavor. And it'll also add a antibacterial quality, and it'll add a coating. You know, honey makes your throat. It just soothes your throat when you've got a sore throat. So we've got quite a bit of our things all in here. We're going to just stir these up just a little bit. And you want to use something that's non-metallic when you're in here stirring around on your glass, because you don't want any micro scratches on your canning jars. Now we're going to put our lids on our fire cider that we've got mixed up here. Got our rosemary poking out a little bit. Trim that down so it'll go down in there easier. Now after you get your lids on, you want to shake it up just a little bit and get it good mixed in. Get it good blended together. Now you got all that goodness in there. Now you can store this out on your counter. If you do, it's going to make a fermented infusion. And if that's what you want, then you know you leave your lid loose and you let the gases escape and just use it like that. Or you can set it in the refrigerator and use it like that. Let it infuse and let all these properties of these herbs and fruits and vegetables and spices that you've put in here, you just let those meld together for about at least 3 weeks. 3 weeks to an indefinite amount of time till you use it up. It'll keep in here, and you can just use it as needed. When you use this, of course, when it's time to use it, you will strain all this, all these vegetables and herbs and things. You would strain it and just have the liquid and put it in an amber bottle and dispense that as needed, anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon. As often as you need relief, it'll bring relief to your throat. It's a good immune boosting tonic. It's been around for a long time. It's a traditional home remedy, and it's really good during the cold and flu season to relieve a lot of that congestion and the nasal stuff that you have going on. The cayenne pepper in there is really good for pain. It's, you know, it soothes, it has a soothing effect whenever you're sick. It's what we use during the cold and flu season. Thank you for joining me today in our making fire cider. I hope you give it a try, and I hope it works for you. Like always, until next time.